Good morning. Welcome to the Thursday, August 1, 2024. Of course, it's the day of the planned hunger protest scheduled to take place today. My name is Jennifer Debobo, your host on the program Inside Nigeria, your current affairs program and breakfast show on leadership television. First, on this first segment of the show, we are going to be looking at headline stories of some select newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. Today's stories are watched with the planned protests taking place today, of course. Driving through the streets of Abuja, they are somewhat deserted due to the protest scheduled to take place today. Let's see what leadership's main headline story says. Tight
farko
security
dai
as
muna son
hunger
mu yaba
protest
shugaban
begins
kasa
today.
wato santa
Governors,
bola
federal
ahmed
government make last-minute appeal to protesters. Ex-militants others pull out. Court restricts protesters to Abuja Stadium. PDP accuses APC Labour Party of plot to cause unrest in Enugu. Riders to the main story. Tight security as hunger protest begins today. Another story is on the cover of leadership. U.S. Embassy hires new visa service provider August 26. 40,000 naira per bag of rice now available for sale, says federal government. Kano begins plan to implement minimum wage. NEFON pays 1.7 billion naira tuition for 20,000 students. Amid 30 trillion naira ways and means probe, Senate amend CBN Act. Is the story that runs on page 7 of leadership. And on the business boards of leadership, Otedola lost federal government's windfall tax policy, accuses bank chiefs of extravagant lifestyle. Above the masthead, Tinubu Obi others mourn Onyeka Onwenu. EFCC recovers over 231 billion naira, $70 million in 1 year. And that story runs on page 7 of leadership. Let's go briefly to the page 3 of leadership today, where we have our permanent fixture, our stand. Our stand is the editorial stand of the paper for the day, and today's editorial stand is on peace in off-season elections, talking about the forthcoming Edo and Ondo state Guba election coming up in September. Our stand is on peace in off-season elections. From that, we move to the back page where we have Thursday being blunt with Umwazu Elize. Umwazu Elize is the group managing director of Leadership newspaper, and today is writing on Benue's Abuja killer politicians. Benue's Abuja killer politicians. It will be, if you recall, the Benin State governor, Hyacinth area, did say that banditry and insurgency in the state was being caused by Abuja politicians. Of course, that's what Moazo is taking his column from today. Benue's Abuja killer politicians. For more, the editorial, continuation of the headline stories and inside stories, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to Vanguard. Vanguard is next, of course, same story in all the papers today as the hunger protest kicks off across the country. Vanguard says protesters urged to leave room for dialogue as police deploy assets. Protesters urged to leave room for dialogue as police deploy assets. Leave room for dialogue, reduce protest to 1 to 3 days, Adegboruwa says. Falana emphasizes rights of citizens to protest. Court restricts Abuja protesters to MKO Abiola Stadium. Police conduct show of force, assure Nigerians of safety. Recover explosive device dropped at customs FOU wall. Shown calls for anti-hunger protest. SGF tells Nigerians. Action Aid says we firmly support citizens' rights to peaceful assembly protest. These are kickers to the main story on Vanguard. Protesters urged to leave room for dialogue as police deploy assets. Underneath that, windfall levy, bankers meet Tinubu for clarifications. Federal government awards $118 million power line project contract. Boko Haram suicide attack kills 19, injures dozens in Bono village. And in sports, Paris 2024 Olympics, Team Nigeria in disarray. Controversy over Phillies omission from 100 meters race rages on. Above the masthead of Vanguard, bank recapitalization, foreign investors moving in, Cardoso. This story is on page 20 of Vanguard. And Gombe governor says we can't pay 70,000 naira minimum wage. Opposition reps walk out of plenary over bill to raise ways and means to 10%. Onyeka Wenu's passing are mom's last moments by sons. Tinubu wife Obi Okoroji Musawa mourn. Is a story that runs on page 7 of Vanguard. From Vanguard, we move to this day. This day says Northern Elders back protest. Niger Delta opts out. Court restrict protesters in FCT, Lagos, Ogun. What to expect from states, of course, is the permutations from this day newspaper. What to expect from today's hunger protest across the country. Above that, consumers face more hardship as panic buying push up demand, prices ahead of protest. Consumers face more hardship as panic buying push up demand, prices ahead of protest. Tinubu told Wenu, Mayor of Music never fail. Find where there's dancing in the sun. That's a good one coming from the president for the demise of Onyeka Owenu, fondly referred to as the elegant talent. May her soul rest in peace. Above the masthead of this day, Otedola backs windfall tax, carpets banks over $500 million expenditure on private jets, says extravagant lifestyle erodes public trust in financial institutions, diverts crucial resources from priority sectors, others. FVN Holdings gross profits by 101% to 411.99 billion naira in first half 2024. That also concludes the review of four headline stories today on this day newspaper. Today, August 1, 2024. And from this day, we move to Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune, same hardship protest as its main story. Hardship protest, security beefed up in states. Soldiers, policemen, NSCDC in show of force. IGP holds last-minute virtual meetings with strategic commanders. Will treat any protester wielding weapon as criminal. NSCDC. Respect rights of protesters. NHROC urges security agencies. Constructive engagement better than protest, federal government insists. Senate wants organizers to share protest. Says Tinubu needs more time. There is no need to protest. Sanwo-Olu addresses Lagosians. Riders to the main headline story today on Nigerian Tribune. Hardship protest. Security beefed up in states. Soldiers, policemen, NSCDC in show of force. Beneath that main headline story, Owap Idare dies at 102. Ayedatiwa others mourn. EKSUS DVC's body found in shallow grave 3 weeks after his abduction. 3 domestic staff arrested over Justice Ajumobia's daughter's murder in Lagos. Gombe can't afford 70,000 naira minimum wage, governor. NAS repeals re-enacts 2024 Appropriation Act, retains 35.058 trillion naira total. Budget figure, Ways and Means Senate reps amend advances to 10%. Students loan, NEFON disburses 1.17 billion naira to 20,000 beneficiaries from 5 institutions. 260,000 applications approved. NFIU, DSS, EFCC, ICPC to ensure transparency, security. And with that, we move to the stories above the masthead of Nigerian Tribune. Obsons Obi recounts last moment of Onyeka Owenu. Tinubu orders mourn. Police deactivate explosive device in Lagos as to nationwide protest. That is it on Nigerian Tribune. For more, log on to the website of the paper. From Nigerian Tribune, we move to the last paper we have on our menu, and that is The Guardian. Guardian's main headline story is still on hunger protests taking place across the country today. Anxiety in states as protesters insist ignore government appeals. Adamawa denies receiving 20 trucks of grains from federal government. Grounded Arid fleet threatens Chevron's oil production. Tributes for elegant stallion Owenyu as bid stops at 72. Amid 30 trillion naira probe, NAS amends CBN's act to raise ways and means loans to federal government. Police firebomb attack in Lagos restricts protesters to 2 venues. Court restricts protesters to 4 centers in Ogun. And that also concludes the headline story today on The Guardian newspaper. For more, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. And from The Guardian newspaper, we also conclude the first half of this program today, Inside Nigeria. Second segment of the program is coming shortly. Don't go away, stay tuned. Welcome back. The program is Inside Nigeria, your current affairs program on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Gobo. Once again, of course, I have with me in the studio my first big guest. He's a political economist. He's also a public affairs analyst, Olamileke Adekolami. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me. Very good morning to all our viewers.
Happy New Month to our viewers. Today is August 1st. Okay. Yeah, how were you able to get to this place? Because driving from home to the studio this morning, I made the streets deserted, no single side. I think from this long stretch of road, we're not even up to 4 cars driving on the road.
Exactly. I also feel the same. Although I enter public transport, and by the time before I get to Maraba, I saw some hoodlums trying to obstruct traffic, trying to arrange some debris on the road, but we're able to make our way and entering into Abuja. I also saw military police checking vehicles and things. So the road was very safe.
However, from my own part of town, coming to the office this morning, I didn't even see any single security in sight.
I think that will inform in regards that the security concentrated on the suburb area, not the city center. Although I saw some security personnel under the Bega Bridge area, one bridge, as well as very close to us in the Sako Junction. They are all there, but
even
the suburb are not
FROSC road safety that we used to see most of the mornings, they were conspicuously absent.
Maybe they may still come into the street later on, but by the time I pass, they are nowhere to be found. But police, military guys, and NSCDC were all on the road.
However, newspaper's headline story today is on the planned hunger protest taking place today across the country. That we don't know how successful it is right now because some.
Yata Sani mai nage Gwale local government titin yawan sun shi Abdullahi Wasu da zai kai ka gidan sarkin Kano kuma zai kai ka Tal'udu junction haka buga nan yadda wata satin da asusu ba suka fito nan suka dama already wajen cire aikin wannan wayar da ake yi ta cable ta gyaran fitulu an faffasa wajen so yanzu nan yara ne suka faffasa suka wawwatsa abubuwan akan titi kamar yadda kuke.
Good morning, Nigeria. Today is the hunger day. We all promised you that we are going to be on the street of Abuja, and hunger have brought me out. I don't have money to buy fuel. I don't have money to buy whatever. There is total bad government, and I think I'm encouraging each and every one of us that the government have used propaganda, fake news to tell you that the protests have cancelled. Look at us on the street. The protests have not cancelled. We are on the street. It's 10 days. And if our demand is not being made, we will remain on the street till our demand is being made. Hunger has brought me out. Insecurity has brought me out. Poor housing has brought me out. A lot of things that is going on in this country. We can't just keep quiet as a nation. I'm advising every one of us to come out and exercise our fundamental right as a people.
What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel Larry.
This NIGERIA bridge.
And I'm telling the CP today, on June 12, we organize ourselves because you gave us a chance to do so. And I'm appealing to you, let us do that also today. And at the end of the day,
Yes, you're welcome back. You just saw some demonstrations taking place in some states across the country, talking about Kano. And it seems like there was some damage being done there.
Exactly. On the one of the highway in Kano, you can see people who consider themselves as protesters. I see them as reactionaries. They are not protesters who went above and begin to pull up pavement on the highway and use it to block the road and scatter it on the road. That's not form of protest. They should look at what is happening. Just well-organized protest in Lagos as well as in Abuja. Well-organized protest. So the one in Kano is not protest at all. It's just reactionary.
No, however, with these protests taking place in Kano and even some parts of the north, this is the first time that Northerners are actually protesting. We saw that in Essence, they were not part of it. And many Nigerians are of the opinion that it's only religion that actually gets the Northerners to participate in protest. But now they are coming out in that numbers. Early this year, we saw women and children from Niger State taking to the streets to protest the hunger situation in the country. And now we are also having people from Kano and even some northern states.
Exactly. Particularly,
why is there a change? Is there a paradigm shift?
Yes, there's paradigm shift, and also because of the peculiar issue that we are facing, hunger, which is the main driving force why people are coming out to protest. But we can see that the difference between Kano protest and the two protests and the one in Nigeria is different. In Kano, we can't call it protest. That's just a reaction. People are just trying to react to certain things, and they are using.
And for what we also saw, the crowd was not that much. Exactly. That they are still undecided.
No. It's a form of disorganized, because you know the governor of that has come out before that there is no protest in Kano.
Yes.
They have said it. Maybe the young chap that went out and threw up those debris and those pavement on the road were just doing it on their own, and you can see that there is no organized way, and that's why the security agency were also telling our look away from that. But the one in Plateau is well organized. Even the one that happened in Niger State some few days back was a little bit organized, although it didn't last long, because before you know they all fizzled away. But the one in Niger State earlier this year,
what are the permutations? Are you seeing the momentum gathering, swelling up as this goes by?
Definitely it will swell up, but it depends on the location and the organization of the protest. Particularly like the one in Abuja is well organized. The protesters, the people organizing it, have shown their face. The one in Lagos, they have shown their face. The one in Plateau, I know they would have also shown their face. But any state that you see that the protesters are not well organized and the people organizing are not showing their face, that means the momentum will not flow. Because at the end of the day, those are the kind of protests that may lead into violence. The care is not taken, because it will be hijacked. And for me, I also want to encourage the protesters at this point in time. from a critical perspective, do not allow any former politicians to address any protest gathering. If they do that, the integrity of that protest has been dead for that. Because these are the same people that were in power before that failed to do the right thing. That they, because in 2012, that's what some of the people in APC used. They hijacked the protest organized by NLC and TUC. They came to address the protesters. And because of that, that sentiment now grew. By the time they now formed their political party, APC, a lot of people now give them the opportunity. APC is going to do better. But we have seen that they cannot do anything better. So every protest ground as we are, or you may be pursuing us or viewing us right now, do not allow any politician to come and address it. That's the advice I would give to them.
You know, the NSAS too at the beginning was successful, but we also saw that many people alleged that the politicians sponsored miscreants to cause mayhem.
Exactly. You know what really happened in NSAS? I was part of NSAS, but what really happened was that the initial demand was interrupted with another demand. And what is that demand? Buhari must go. And that was what really led.
I didn't really see that.
No, it was there. It was part and parcel of what led to the violence in Abuja. The Akpo, the violence in Abuja started in Akpo, where the mechanic where they burned vehicles and the rest of it. It was as a result of the Buhari must go insertion as part of the demand. And that's when those thugs now came. Those thugs were brought in for massacre from Maraba. You get it? But initially, the demand was going easy. I mean, the protest was going peacefully as expected. Everybody was marching. You can see the quality and caliber of people that were part of the proceeding of the protest. But immediately that demand that Buhari must go came in, everything just went south. So we just hope that in this particular protest also, we will not ask for demand that cannot be measurable. The demand that we know that cannot be realistic.
Exactly, that is what was also actually going to, because the federal government said we want to negotiate. What will be the form of negotiations that will bring the prices of the foodstuffs down and return everything back to?
Who is the government want to negotiate with?
That's what the federal government has been saying. There is room for dialogue, and I keep in mind what kind of dialogue they are going to need that will make prices of goods to go back to normal.
The issue is this.
And fuel prices to return back to normal.
No, for me, I would have said, okay, if NLC and TUC are part of this protest, I would have said government go and dialogue. These are people who consider themselves activists one way or the other. So at the end of the day, by the time government dialogue with them, who are these guys going to talk to? See, protests are spontaneous grouping of people. The highest of among the people that are protesting right now are people that 10 or 15 are members of the group that are organizing it. After the other mammal crowd we are seeing, they are just anybody from anywhere. So these are the people that you want to take feedback to government or government to. You can remember the NSAS. After negotiating with people who consider themselves as the leadership of the NSAS, who did those guys went and give the feedback of what government told them they are going to do? Out of all that government promised, it was just one thing they did. The reviving of the police institution and the nullification of anything that has to do with SARS. So after that, the other demand that was...
However, many also alleged during that period or after that period that SARS assumed another name.
In the form of special forces and special investigative team and the rest of them. Although what now made it so SARS not to be that powerful and more relevant again was that it was swapped with a new name. Then it was broken into different units per se. The one for anti-robbery was there. The one for elders farmers crisis was there, and they broke them into different units. So that's why they are not that powerful. But what make it more better at that point was that when National Human Rights Commission now stepped into the crisis, so they now took over all the allegation and the cases, and they were able to amend it and carry out something that was quite palatable to everybody at the end of the day. But on this case now, there is nobody among these organizers that government can do, because they don't have the feedback. Who are they going to give the feedback to? There's no structure, because at the end of the day, these guys will become another group of people that from there they will make money from government having seat allowances and the rest of them. But if NLC and TUC were to be part of the organization of this protest, I would have taken dialogue with them, because NLC would have bring concrete demand that will be more sellable, that will be more admirable to Nigeria. But these ones are just the take it back movement, owned by who? So a political figure. So what will the government be negotiating and dialoguing with him for?
All right, thank you so much. Now, what are we going to be expecting from states? Is the protest as good as dead?
For me, the state that are active right now are Plateau, Lagos, Abuja is part of it. Kanu also coming up, but we don't know what they do. We have not heard from Benin because Benin also was part of the state that the Take It Back movement is trying to make sure that protest takes place. Delta, because of insecurity that happened 2 days back, there was a kidnap of the commissioner daughter and the rest of them. The southeast is out of it already.
Yes,
Rivers, Port Harcourt, they are out of it because as of this morning there was no report of any gathering. Although maybe they are listening to what other they have said that there's
that's
no
why
protest.
people said the Niger Delta, and I was like, Niger Delta, does we have the beach?
No.
You just mentioned Benin.
Benin. If we could talk of the core Niger Delta state, we want to put it forth River State and Bayelsa State. Asari Dako still had leadership because of all the former militant leaders. Apart from I take a Tom, he has now politicized. He's now into politics.
And
Tom Polo is already on government side. Asari Dokubo is also on government side. So he may have the voice, and there's no other leadership in that militant group like these three that we have mentioned. So they may listen to him. And he has been around since. He has been in Port Harcourt, he has been sitting in Port Harcourt, he has been doing most of his advocacy in Port Harcourt. So they may listen to him. But in Benin, the Take It Back movement have strong membership in Benin. But I don't know, for now we have not received any claim whether they are coming up.
Anyway, we'll certainly get to hear more as the day goes by. Now we move over to another trending story on the papers today, and that is talking about the 30 trillion naira ways and means approved by Senate, and Senate went as far as amending the CBN Act to make room for about 10%. Can you just break it down? What does it really mean?
I think ways and means is not a bad idea in the economy.
Yes, President.
Raising it to 10% to 20% is not a bad to the economy. What is bad is when it becomes excessive.
Then we read that some House of Reps member, especially opposition, walked out of
because
why would you raise it now?
The issue is 5%.
Where it has always been exploited. You saw what happened during Buhari's time, and up to now they are still investigating it, and no concrete evidence has been brought out at the end of the day, and now you are increasing it again.
What the National Assembly did was to review the CBN Act. There are some clauses they want to improve on, to enhance on. One of the ones that is a little bit politicized is the ways and means. There are other clauses in that particular CBN Act that nobody's talking about that are more dangerous to the economy than ways and means. Nobody's talking about the excessiveness of CBN, whereby the profit that CBN is making from forex sales, nobody's asking them the question. That is more dangerous. We are talking about windfall taxes for banks, but nobody's asking CBN, how much have you made in the last 1 year over sales of forex? That one is more dangerous because it's the dictatorship of the CBN governor in that regard. But ways and means that you know that it's an avenue to save the economy when government is lacking cash funds. But because of the politicization of that particular section of the act, that's why people are saying that one of the, it's not that, for me as an economist, it's not a problem. But where the problem lies is that when government is collecting and they're not paying, get it? That's where the problem. But politicizing like it,
we just read during the Emefele's turn.
Exactly.
The president was not paying.
He was not paying, and why the government president was not paying was that because the CBN governor doesn't have mouth, he doesn't have that energy to act because according to the report that he was not deserving the second term, so he worked his way. So he used that one as a compensation. So let government continue to collect ways and means, whereby the ways and means was affecting money in circulation, because the danger of it to the economy is that when there is excesses on the part of government where they are printing money, the liquidity ratio that we want to reduce will never be reduced because government is still pumping money into the circulation. So raising it to 10% for me is not a bad idea, but so far the government will pay within the period stipulated by the law, because the law said the following year budget ways and means must be paid. You get it? So, but why this 30 trillion get to this level was that throughout the period that they were collecting, they were not paying.
Yes, Buhari was not paying back.
He was not paying back, and the CBN governor there was not asking them to pay back. Rather than ask them to pay back, they were still collecting more. So this 10% is not a bad idea. If you collect the 10%, if you collect for this year, please next year pay. That's all. But there are other challenges in the CBN Act that nobody is paying attention to. We talk about the power of the CBN in terms of how it sells dollar or sells foreign currency. Nobody is asking questions about that. But they are challenging private businesses, which we also say, okay, is good when businesses have now turned our currency into a commodity, whereby banks will be making up to 2 trillion
Now, I just want to also windfall levy.
Exactly.
What does it mean for bankers?
What it means is this: the banks are dealing with foreign currency. Now, CBN give them dollar to sell, so there is a particular percentage of profit they are making on each naira to dollar they are selling. So they have exceeded a level that CBN was expecting them to make profit. So that profit have gone beyond the expectation. And how did it go beyond the expectation? The devaluation of the currency within the time frame. Today it is the value, tomorrow it is the value, then tomorrow is the value. So the more the naira is the value, the more profit they are making. If they said dollar to naira 1,500 today, and it is CBN now said, let's say CBN said to them 1,510 naira. Tomorrow they will make another 40, 50 naira on top. If the CBN send it to them 1,600, they are selling it at 1,650 naira. So they'll be making as much as the currency is devalued. That's how much their profit will be coming. And they are not doing anything in that regard. They are not the one printing the dollar. They're not doing anything strange in terms of services they are providing in selling the currency. So how come they are not making that excess? So that's why the government says, okay, if you are making this amount of money and there's nothing you are offering in that regard, we'll collect 70% of that money from you.
How much?
70%.
Is that not weak?
It's not weak. It's not weak. See, the thing is that it is the gap that the government created.
Dollar banks windfall tax.
Because them.
Banks over
Because the thing is that if you understand this side of the issue, normally nobody's supposed to be making profit on currency sales. It's against our law. That's why anybody that wants to be dealing in currency, you have to collect license from CBN. And they will tell you the guideline. Do you see what the guideline that CBN gave to BDC? They cannot make more than 30 naira on each dollar they are buying or each dollar they are selling. 30 naira, that should be the deal. If they go above that, and the banks have gone beyond that, that's why 2 trillion in 1 year alone, 2 trillion, all 11 banks.
Yes,
2 trillion.
Last year we keep seeing banks declaring profits.
Exactly.
Profits, even in the midst of this depression and inflation period. And one begins to wonder, how are they making
the money? Although
I think it's a question that I've asked you.
Yes, now the issue is that although apart from that forex sales they are making, they're also making money from other forex things, other exchanges, sub charges and the rest of them, your text messages, your whatever. And again, when those banks also make more money was that there's a memo that CBN just released now that dormant accounts that were owned by dead people, family can come and claim it. There is a huge amount of money in that account that even CBN is even afraid. That's why they quickly say, and it's causing problem in the banking sector. Next of kin can come and claim those money. Those money were huge. The same thing is in our capital market. There is a huge slush fund that you can't access it because certain things have happened, particularly the ones that belong to dead people that are dead. And that's other aspect that banks are also using to make more money. So because of that, they are making a lot of money, another from petroleum sector, whereby they are giving money for importers of petroleum products. They're also making more money because to give money to importers of products is about more than 80% in terms of the interest they are charging you. So they are making much money from that. But this particular windfall tax, we all support it. But just that the 70%, as you also said, it's too much. That's how all of us are joking. Although the government has said it has to be 70%. Because the reason why the government is saying 70% because they know that the bank is not doing anything. It's just like I give you this, you gave me this newspaper now, and at the end of the day, this newspaper bring me 100 naira, and I didn't do anything to it. I didn't change anything on it. The same dollar, I'm the one that give you the dollar. I just say sell, and you are making money more than me, even me that is giving you. So those are just the issues.
All right, thank you so much. Now we move over to the issue of minimum wage, which was approved by President Bola Tinubu and signed into law this Monday. However, the state is coming out that is Gombe State that cannot pay that 70,000 naira minimum wage. So what happens? We can't give all these states that are not going to be able to pay, or states that are not paying their civil servants this money. We can't whip them into line. Can the federal government do that?
The law is already there. They will pay. The governor Yaya of Gombe State will pay that money. Maybe you just need to.
But however, when minimum wage was 30,000, we still have some states that couldn't pay that, and nothing was done to them.
I think NSC have promised them that they are going to shut down the state. Maybe this time I will be seeing some state governor being impeached. If NSC want to do the work, not just by protesting, but by infiltrating the state house of assembly and make the case so strong. Because there is no state that cannot pay 70,000. Gombe State, imagine Gombe State and Nasarawa State. Nasarawa State is the second state that is collecting the least federal allocation after Ekiti State.
Nasarawa State.
Yes, but Nasarawa State will start paying minimum wage from resources than some other states, also mineral resources, and arable land for agriculture. So why would the governor say they can't pay? I think maybe he's just trying to raise opinion in regards that to okay, maybe
For government
for the grade
institutions.
it's 110,000 that's the starting point. The 70,000 is for at least the least for everybody. But for government institutions, from 1,000 is for at least the least for everybody. But for government institutions from all cadres of government is 110,000. That is starting point. Maybe he's looking at the whale bill or the entire whale bill, and also looking at the political appointees that he has, because one of those governors that have over 100 appointees that is paying. So if you can reduce the numbers of appointees, you can pay minimum wage. And if you can, it is a state and the governor that have carried out investment summit last year and early this year. So are you saying those investment summits have not yielded any investors to come to your state and invest in your state? So we should encourage him to pay. It shouldn't be, and nobody should support him in this regard that they cannot. He should pay the money.
All right, thank you so much. And in another news, the EFCC said it has recovered 231 billion naira and $70 million in 1 year.
I hope the money is not audio money.
But many people, we keep hearing, even in the past administration of power, so much money was
that. Their one was over even 700.
The monies are always being
recovered. Although there was an institutional arrangement for some of those recovered money, as well as assets. You know, there was this fund that the Minister of Anthony General Office created to manage some of those assets and some of those funds, and we also understood that some of those money was put into sukuk funding for some infrastructure projects by the Buhari government. But how much of those money enter those projects, that's what we cannot account. So for me, exactly to give account of that. I know most of them, they will not be able to give account of it, because we can see from the glaring picture of the way they are living, the luxury life they are living, that they also put their hand into some of this money.
And we even had then that some of these recovered houses were being sold to criminals.
Exactly, associates and friends, and you know, it happens like that. Just like in Nigeria, that's why we have mistrust for people in government, because you cannot really, yes, because the way they live their life and from what they are saying, you can't differentiate. A person will tell you that they have recovered so much money they are putting in government, but we see the kind of life they are living, the kind of cars they are driving. You get it? So, but we just hope that this is not, for one, it is not audio money. It is not just, you just want to script something to let Nigerians hear something. It is real. Then secondly, it is something that we can put back into government coffers. And you know, this money is going to the to the federal government port. It's going to the consolidated revenue which belongs to the federal government. Some of this money, either they are taking it from the state, whereby it is going to the federal government account. I just hope that at the end of the day, there will be a better way of giving account of it transparently to Nigerians.
Thank you so much. And lastly, the federal government is selling a bag of rice for 40,000 naira. That is a good one.
It's a good one.
Available for Nigeria.
Definitely.
It's not just for the selective.
And again, the center, they said they have placed those rice. We want to know the center. Minister of Information was talking yesterday. I was so shocked that our colleague journalists were not able to ask him. Sir, you say there's a center in Abuja. Where is the center in Abuja? So that we can know. Just the all centers have been created. And again, they should not confuse us with the rights they are giving to state government. There's a 2020 truck they are giving to state. And there's 40,000 naira, 50 kg bag they are also saying they want to sell. So which one are we going to believe? Is it the 40,000 naira, 50 kg bag of it? Is it the same thing as the one they are giving to state? So that people will not be confused.
Said that they never received that.
Exactly. So they should not confuse Nigeria. If there are two different things, they should tell us this 50,000, 40,000 50 kg bag is for direct sales, which the Minister of Agriculture was talking about. So where are the center? The 20 truck load you are giving to state, what is that one meant for? You need to know.
Adamawa denies receiving 20 trucks of greens from federal government. Now, that is all about for now. But before we go, let's look at Olympics 2023 in Paris, France. And Vanguard says Paris 2024 Olympics team Nigeria in disarray. Controversy over Ophili's omission from 100 meters race rages on.
Exactly.
Why is it that Nigerian team they can't put their ass in order?
I was with some sport journalists yesterday and they raised this issue. And the question I asked them, why is it that from time immemorial, our sport administrator has always found themselves in this kind of challenge? The only thing those our colleagues were able to say was that, this is year to year, our sport administrator, corruption, just like at the national level, in other sectors, that's how corruption is affecting sport. So what is happening to Philly is as a result of corruption. And the minister, although yesterday charged, he said he's going to deal with all sport administrators that were in charge of this Olympic team that were failing Nigeria. But how much will you do when you yourself have an interest? So when someone interest and have come to play, and they are your workers, your people in the field that know that this man has an interest. Definitely, they also want to promote their own interest, and also have affected this lady. And you can see the sports team, the football team, female team are already crashed out. The boxer have been tested for drug and so many disarray according to report that we're hearing. But we just hope that they will be able to put their house in
And in
order.
times past, we can recall that Nigeria has managed to had always managed to get at least some few medals, and even a gold or whatnot. And even track and field, we had Mary Onyandi and her team then. So at the end of the day, we are not going to have.
No, we are not losing hope on the team party, because our Muson is still there. Some other strong athletes are still there, and boxers, as you mentioned, wrestlers are still there. But it is sport administrator, the one they play, the role they play in selecting people to go for the Olympics. And imagine a good number of them are there spending taxpayers' money, and they are not the one to run, they are not the one to box, they are not the one to jump. So what are they doing there?
We don't offer moral support.
Moral support or to collect estacos.
Obviously, this is where we end today's Thursday edition of your current edition Inside Nigeria. I've had the pleasure of having company political economics, public affairs analyst, Olamide Adekola.